This is AP Environmental Science. My name is Mr. Chipman. I teach AP Biology and AP, not any other AP. AP Biology at Murray High School in Murray, Kentucky. This is AP Environmental Science, Unit 3, Populations, 3.7 total fertility rate. Kind of feeds off of the age structure diagrams that we looked at last time. And we need to talk about this thing called total fertility rate, or TFR for short. It's the average number of children a woman has in her lifetime is the total fertility rate. So the average number of children a woman has in her lifetime. So you're going to see numbers that seem weird, like 2.1 is an important number. A woman obviously can't have 0.1 children. So again, this is the average. This directly measures a population's growth potential. Replacement level, speaking of that 2.1, is 2.1. Think about it for just a moment. A woman has a child. If she has two children, she has not replaced herself and her mate, right? She has simply just replaced them. But 2.1 is growing, right? 2.1 is replacing those two individuals plus 0.1, a child, right? And so anything lower than that is at replacement level or declining. Below replacement level is decline. Above 2.1 is a significant increase depending on how far above. You can see here that you have up to 6 and almost 7. That's growing population, as opposed to 0.6, which is a declining population, right? Really important when it comes to thinking about the future of a country, how a country is going to fare economically. There's a whole lot here that's not necessarily environmental science. That's more of a political sort of thing, but is also part of environmental science to talk about. So let's look at some of the factors that are affecting total fertility rate. This graph is female schooling and fertility in 2015, and it is a scatter plot to see if there's any sort of correlation between total fertility rate and completed years of schooling. And what this seems to say is that there's a negative correlation between total fertility rate and completed years of schooling. What that means is that the more education someone has, the less fertile or the lower that their fertility rate is going to be. So what this suggests is that people who are educated tend to have less children than people who aren't educated. And again, not making a comment on this, this is not my opinion, I'm just looking at the data, right? And so people who have more opportunities for education, more opportunities for career advancement are less likely to spend that time having children and raising a family. The age at which they have their first child, early childbearing is going to increase lifetime fertility, obviously. Access to family planning, contraception, and other means for family planning is going to decrease unintended births, right? Sometimes government policies will dictate this as well. Sometimes the government policy is like a pronatalist type of policy, which is going to encourage births as opposed to an anti-natalist, which is going to restrict births, like China's famous one-child policy, right? That it obviously is going to encourage decline in a population, as opposed to another country like France, who gives tax incentives for larger families because they're trying to bolster their population, right? Very important. Infant mortality is also going to have a lot to do with fertility. Infant mortality is the idea of how quick or how many infants are dying in infancy. And so a higher infant mortality often leads to higher fertility rates. Think about it for a minute. Infant mortality has gone way down since, say, the turn of the 20th century. Families were having a lot more children because a lot more infants were dying. Families would have more children in order to ensure the survival of their name, of their property, of whatever, or in order to have people to work their farm or whatever it was, right? Whatever the reason is. As infant mortality has decreased, there's been less need for that. There's been less infants dying, and so there's been less children being born. So there's a direct correlation between those two things. And a lot of other things can go into this: improved sanitation, healthcare, nutrition, All of those things are going to reduce the amount of infants that are dying and thus decreasing fertility. Here's an example. This is South Korea. South Korea, saw a video recently on, there's a channel called Kurt Gazat. I've probably referred to it already, that talked about fertility rate in South Korea. It's fantastic. It's worth watching for sure. But this shows you fertility rates that are all below 1, right? They're all really low, except for looks like one region of Korea. And why is that? Education, access to family planning, more of an emphasis on career as opposed to family. And again, it's not a commentary, it's just what it is. And that has caused extremely low fertility rates in this country. Let's look at a practice problem. In Italy, total fertility rates are about 1.3 children per woman, well below replacement level, which the following best explains the demographic trend. So this is sort of a social question, right? You kind of have okay, why are women having less children? Women marry earlier. That's not true. That's the opposite, right? Infant mortality rates are high. Again, that's going to cause more fertility, so B is not correct. Government pronatalists have been highly effective, not pro-birth here. Delayed childbearing, access to family planning, economic, cultural factors contribute to fertility rates being below replacement level. D is the correct answer. Hope this was helpful. This is not sort of an A plus B equals C sort of thing. So this is a little bit more in the air. It's a little more abstract. If you have questions, please ask me in the comments down below. We're moving on to 3.8.